Well, the layout is running reasonably well. Some days on DC, some days on DCC. I haven't yet got the power boosters connected to the various different zones yet, but I'm working on that bit. In the meantime, I've started just doing a bit more landscaping. It always makes you feel a bit more positive about the layout when you see things starting to shape and look like a proper scene. So let me show you what I've been doing. Down at the Turntable End, I've built up the landscape behind the two main running lines where the goods approach breaks off and has a head shunt. I've polystyrened it, stacked blocks up, glued them in place, and then with my handy dandy homemade wire cutter shaped them all, and having shaped them to pretty much the right kind of curves and forms, I've gone over them with a layer of plaster mixed with sand and burnt umber paint to give a foundation for whatever grass I put on top. You see dark earth underneath and grass coming through for the most. If there's any sparse areas where the grass doesn't take, you see mud underneath, which is what I'm aiming for with the foundation colour. Having done the Turntable End, I then moved further up the layout back towards the new station, which is called Fox Hill, which is fed from the branch line. I have finally got the bridge in place. It was built from a Dapol Airfix kit where I used the two side girders, and then I laser cut a new base slightly wider than the standard bridge base, fabricated some extra longer girders so it can be set on an offset stagger to go across the two main lines on the diagonal. Painted it in a basic colour. I then worked all over it with some washes of dirt applied with a paintbrush, and then started to lay track across the bridge, round the corner, up the cork base, where I arrived at what was originally going to be quite a sharp humpback bridge, but then I'd rethink about it and I thought, oh, why don't we have an unbarriered level crossing? You don't have to have any solenoids to move the crossing gate, and I made this by soldering two tracks across a piece of PCB variboard, and then two check rails, one either side with a suitable space, into the gap of which I spread some car body filler. At the ends it's quite lumpy with a couple of kind of dents and scoops in it, like the concrete hasn't properly been levelled up. Gives a nice impression of it being a bit rough and ready. From there onwards I have laid the track round the corner that sweeps me into the new Fox Hill station. The track plan is drawn roughly from a Pico book, quite like the layout of a goods shed on one side crossing a short crossover to enter it, and a runaround line, and a single main platform, a goods platform. The station is going to be based on St Albans City branch, and I found this oak wood press book which gives me quite a lot of interesting and nice pictures of the station and a few drawings which I will CAD up, laser cut and put together at some point. Having got all the branch line in and the bridge across, it led me on to doing a bit of weathering on the brick abutments where the bridge jumps over. Used some very good Vallejo washes of white and principally a dark grey, and as an image to use to give me ideas how weathering looks, I took a photograph of the railway bridge where it goes over Red Lion Lane just down the road from my mum in Hemel Hempstead, where she lives, I've used that as a principal jumping off point and have worked some extra colours in. You can see that in the image there's quite a lot of green and there's a kind of quite a lot of yellowy moss and stuff growing, so, and applied the washes with a brush and a pipette, and you quite literally just drop them onto the brickwork and let it flow and pull itself along by capillary action through the various different brick layers which I've engraved on it. I've used the same principle on the grey areas and on the terracotta brick. Particularly like the effect it's produced in the corner behind where the signal box is going to go, just by the bridge as you come under the road. It seems to have run down like there's quite a nice lime, like a limey kind of stain, and in the corner it looks rather like a kind of mildewy green moss that's got hold of the and slime that's got hold of the wall. Next job on my list is to 3D print some offset point motor bases and laser cut some mimic boards to control the point motors. Thanks for watching, and please comment, like, share, subscribe and click the notification bell. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.